In today's video, I'll show you all the best Siri commands for AirPods and AirPods Pro. Not only that, I'll teach you quick, short and concise ways to say each of the commands to get your Siri task done with minimal fuss instead of using long phrases. I want to start by saying that I really love Apple AirPods Pro. I must admit I've been a little skeptical with Bluetooth and wireless headphones, particularly the earbud variety. I have a pair of Bose Powerbeats and have tried the original AirPods as well in the past, and I just found that I couldn't hear the music over loud noises without having the volume up ridiculously high. I really enjoy hearing the bass notes when listening to music, and I just never really experienced that with wireless earbuds in the past. So I was certainly skeptical before getting these. But the sound quality of these babies have really converted me. So I 100% recommend getting a set of these if you haven't already. A quick note on why you'd want to use Siri controls over the built-in gestures on the AirPods. For example, you can pause or play a song, skip to the next one, restart a song, or go back to the last song by using the touch gestures on the AirPods or managing noise cancellation settings on the AirPods Pro. But there are times that you are maybe doing something else with your hands, for example, carrying shopping or handling heavy weights in the gym, riding a bike, or maybe you just can't be bothered reaching up for whatever reason to do these basic controls. Then of course there's a whole swath of Siri controls that can't actually be activated with gestures alone. These are reasons why you want to get a handle on all of the best as well as short Siri controls for AirPods. So moving on to waking up Siri in order to give her a command. We're all aware that the AirPods have built-in gestures and that you can assign one to activate Siri. For example, on the original AirPods, you can program it so that a double tap activates Siri. Or on the AirPods Pro, by squeezing the force sensor, you can activate her there. But as mentioned just before, you may not have a spare hand to do this, or you may not want to waste a limited gesture option on Siri activation. So to get around this, let's first make sure you have the Hey Siri activated so that Siri is listening to your commands. To do that, go into your phone, hit Settings, Siri and Search, then enable Listen for Hey Siri. A quick tip with summoning Siri, and this generally works across all Apple devices and remains true with the AirPods and AirPods Pro as well. You don't need to wait for Siri to respond after summoning her before you give the command. You can just say it as one unbroken sentence. For example, instead of saying, Hey Siri, then waiting, next song, you can just say, Hey Siri, next song. With that said, now let's get into the best and most useful Siri controls for both AirPods and AirPods Pro, whilst also being concise. And why would you want to be concise? Well, it just takes more time and effort to say things the long-winded way. Also, being concise is more discreet if you're in public. Why say, Hey Siri, play the next song, when you can just say, Hey Siri, next song? I'll say that I find quick Siri controls to be particularly useful with adjusting volume and music controls. This is because quite often when I'm listening to music, I'm out and about doing things, using my hands, carrying things, or at the gym as I said. But I also like to be concise as I mentioned before. Some of these commands may be new to you, or others you just have your own long way of saying it. So here is a great list of short commands that you can use after you say, Hey Siri. Play Spotify, next song, previous song, restart song, rewind 20 seconds, fast forward 20 seconds, pause, play. Now, specific to volume controls, people often use Hey Siri, turn up the volume. But you can shorten it to Hey Siri, volume up, or Hey Siri, volume down. But I actually really like to just tell Siri what volume percentage I want. Hey Siri, volume 80%, volume 60%, volume 30%. Another great command if your phone is say in your pocket or on the other side of the room is Hey Siri, what song is this? And if you're using Apple Music instead of Spotify, you can even say, Hey Siri, like this song, to get that saved to your favorites. Most of the commands I just went through also work for Apple Podcasts, with some modifications. For example, Hey Siri, play podcast, next podcast, restart podcast, rewind 5 minutes, fast forward 1 minute. The main reason I absolutely love the AirPods Pro is its noise cancellation features. They got some amazingly advanced technology packed into these things. And to be honest, when I asked for these as a Christmas present, I actually didn't know a lot about the earphones, and even if the noise cancellation would be a feature worth highlighting. In fact, when I put them in my ears for the very first time, I had legitimately forgotten that the noise cancellation was even built into the things. I remember I was sitting on the couch in a large echoey room. I had my back to my family who were over there having a conversation. I put the AirPods in with no music on at all, and all of a sudden their voices turned from being loud and clear to muffled and distant, almost as if they'd magically moved into another room. Needless to say, I was confused, and when I pulled them out and turned around, to my amazement, they were still there talking away as before. So I popped them back in and realized that the noise cancellation had defaulted to on and that they indeed work amazingly well. That's when I knew I was actually going to love these things. And then I started playing my favorite bassy songs. Big smiles. So for those that don't know, there are 3 noise cancellation modes. First, the most active, noise cancellation on. This is a setting you use to isolate the outside environment as much as possible from yourself. At the other end of the spectrum, you have what's called transparency on mode. And what this does is make the outside world sound like what it would if you had no earphones in at all. It actually has a microphone on the outside, which then delivers the outside sounds directly into your ear, almost like a hearing aid would. So you can be listening to music, yet hearing everything outside really clearly still. Then you have the setting in the middle, which is noise cancellation off. With this, there is actually no active component working to modify the outside sounds, but it is still quieter than with no earphones in at all because the device itself blocks some of your earway and by nature some of the outside sounds as well. So the quickest way to use Siri controls for noise cancellation modes are Hey Siri, noise cancellation. Hey Siri, noise cancellation off. Hey Siri, transparency. Note that to go directly from transparency mode to noise cancellation off mode, you need to say, Hey Siri, transparency off. Other useful Siri commands for AirPods Pro include, Hey Siri, AirPods battery, which you can use to find out how much battery is left in your AirPods, but not your case. Then you have the obvious, Hey Siri, call mum. Text dad. Set an alarm for 4 p.m. to call mum. Set timer for 20 minutes. Siri voice controls are great for definitions and translations when you're on the run as well, which helps me with my Spanish. Hey Siri, how do you say 2 beers please in Spanish? Hey Siri, define subscribe. Now while we're at it, if you're enjoying this content, then please hit the like button below for the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell for more useful videos just like this. A few other fun and quick Siri commands include, Hey Siri, roll the dice. Flip a coin. Tell me a joke. You can also use Siri to help work out a suggested tip amount. Hey Siri, what's 20% of $63? If you receive a text message, Siri can tell you who it's from and then read the message out. While Siri is reading a message though, you can just say, Hey Siri, stop. By the way, if you want to get Siri to read your messages, go to Settings, Notifications, Announce Messages with Siri, and make sure that Announce Messages with Siri is turned on. Then tap Messages and just choose one of the options here that suits you here. Having Siri read your messages on your AirPods only works if you're not actually using your phone at the same time. Now, if you ever want to stop Siri doing something, or you're halfway through giving a voice command and you change your mind, you can just say, Hey Siri, cancel, or just cancel. Speaking of Apple shortcuts, watch this video next to see how to use back tap on iPhone to open any app. You'll learn the fastest way to open any app or perform almost any task on iPhone. I'll see you there. Hey Siri, stop.